What's up everybody and welcome to another video. Today we're going over Final Fantasy 16. Now, as the title of the video suggests, is this the best Final Fantasy since Final Fantasy 9? The answer is no. But I'm only 5 hours in, so it could get better. Now, that's not to say this game isn't so far amazing. It is. It's very, very, very good. The icon battles are some of the most over-the-top battles I've ever seen, and they are so cool. Getting to be Phoenix against Ifrit is super cool. It's like a childhood fantasy come to life. The Game of Thrones comparisons have been done to death, but in reality, this is a Game of Thrones game through and through. It's got a darker story with warring nations. It's got blood everywhere. It's got some brutality. Like, look at that. That's not usually in a Final Fantasy game. And it's really, really cool to see. I definitely think it's an evolution for the series to take it in this kind of direction. Now, I do love the old school Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy 9, the more whimsical, lighthearted stories that those told, with the characters who are dealing with identity crises, or, you know, where do I come from? What is my purpose? All that kind of stuff. Here, it's more of a darker story, and it's kind of dealing with Clive, the main character, and his place in the world. What is he here for? Not necessarily his identity. And I think that's really cool. He is tasked with defending his brother Joshua. And before I get any further, full spoilers for the first 5 hours. So if you don't want to get spoiled, tune out and come back after you've played. So with that said, Clive is the first shield of Joshua, sworn to protect his younger brother, because Joshua is the dominant of the Phoenix, meaning he embodies that icon. And the story picks up from there, and it's really touching. There are a lot of really cool moments between Clive and Joshua. You can tell that Clive cares so much about Joshua and his protection, and kind of making his father proud as well. The twists and turns within the first couple hours even were unexpected. I had my jaw on the floor a couple times watching these kind of icon battles. The twists in the story definitely were Game of Thrones style twists that I did not see coming. And it's just been, so far, a really, really good time. I want to like it more than, let's say, Final Fantasy X, but so far I'd say 10 is better, only because I've played and beaten that game 3, 4, 5 different times. But the scale of 16 so far is absolutely huge. Like, look at this battle between Shiva and Titan with all the foot soldiers on the ground fighting. Like, that's huge. It's pretty insane what they've been able to accomplish. Now, with that said, the frame rate issues with this game kind of leave it a little bit lacking. I was hoping for a very smooth 4K, 60 frames per second. Even at 1080, I'd take 60 frames per second. Because with the way the combat is, how fluid it is, and the Devil May Cry-like inspiration from it is just begging to have it be at 60 frames per second. And with this only being developed for PS5, I was hoping they would be able to do that. Instead of having to develop for multiple consoles, they would be able to just focus in and really get that 60 frames locked in. Hopefully in a later patch they can figure that out It's not like a huge deal, but it would be really, really nice to have that. With that said, the combat, even with the stuttering frames every once in a while, is super, super fun. The icon of Phoenix and the powers that you get from that make it really, really fun, and you get to stagger enemies, you get to deal lots of damage, you get to jump, you get to fly around with your Phoenix dash. Like, there's so much to it, even with just the one icon. They also have this active time lore, which I think is one of the coolest things to be introduced into Final Fantasy almost ever. It's basically anytime there's a cutscene, you can press pause, press the touchpad, and go into it, and it will tell you all the things that are happening in that cutscene, whether it's characters, locations, keywords, whatever it may be. You'll get to go in and read all that. So if you get busy and you step away from games for a week or two and you come back, or you just straight up forget because there's a lot of terminology thrown at you, you can read that and catch up pretty dang easily. So that's really cool. Back to the combat here, you'll see that they have these instances where the screen will turn blue or it will turn red or orange, and that is a cinematic kind of moment to really immerse you into the battle. Here against this Marlboro, you basically just want to hammer away at him, jump up, keep going, use your magic, dodge out of the way, and try and not get caught in his bad breath. If you've played a Final Fantasy before, you know what that does to you, and it's no good. What I do love about the combat is the swift recovery you just saw. The magic bursts are pretty cool, and the dodge mechanic. If you can perfectly dodge like that, you can go in for a counter, and it feels so good to do. You can keep range, throw some magic. The magic is a little lacking for me. Growing up playing Final Fantasies, I would have liked to see a more robust magic system. Maybe that comes later. We'll just have to wait and see. But for right now, it's just it feels weak. Doesn't really do much. You can chain it with your sword swipes for combos, but it's pretty lacking for me. But the visuals are so good. I think this game looks absolutely gorgeous, super beautiful. The environments so far have been varied. The character models are great. Meeting Sid was a highlight. Him with his lightning coming down. It's really cool to see the developers pay homage to those traditional Final Fantasy tropes, like having a Sid in every single game, Marlboros, Moogles, Chocobos, keeping that core identity of Final Fantasy there, while also exploring new traditions and new paths for the series. It's reinvented itself again. The Dragoon here coming in pays homage to Final Fantasy IV, and it's just so cool to see. But I'll definitely have more to say later on. This is just my first 5 hours. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like, subscribe, share, all that good business, and I'll catch you guys next time.